Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family. As you see, Sassy and the two monkeys playing as always. And, while Sassy, she's not growing at, gosh, either 8 or 9 years old, these two don't stop growing. But yet, Sassy will tell you, and these two will agree, she is the boss.
She is the boss. She is the Doberman Slayer. She's got this. She's got this.
And that's Rama on top. Rama's in purple and Sita's in blue.
Yeah, and when it's time, when they're at the right size, I am going to get them some different collars. These are their baby collars. So I want the thing where they have some. I don't want spikes on the collars, but I do want those pretty studs on the collars. I think that'll be fun. Sita really would like that. She might even want to go with diamonds.
And so Ram was born on Christmas Eve. So on the 24th of this month, he'll be 5 months old.
Yes, and Sita is born on the 15th of December. So she's 1 week older than him about.
Yeah, she's like 9 days older than Ram. And they like to go under the porch and get stuck. Well, Ram gets stuck. He gets stuck in there.
Sassy's hiding under there right now.
Oh, there it is.
You can see the sass.
There's the sassy head.
She's taking her position.
And he's saying, "Come out and play, Auntie Sass."
She teases them really good. If she makes them mad, she'll bark and snap at them, and he cries like a baby. He does.
He does. So we wanted to talk about something that was brought up by our brother Bob in New Mexico. And, he's a wonderful guy. And Bob has gone through a lot physically. He just had a birthday and turned 78.
Yep.
So, that's a big milestone. And so some of the channels are out there, and they're saying that, the ascension, the wave of ascension is just upon us. And don't worry, boom, we're going to be changed in an instant, in a twinkling of an eye. Which we get, that type of event will happen at some point in time. Not now. We have a long way to go still. And I know that's not something that people want to hear. We always have instant gratification syndrome. And many people want instant gratification. And there's many channels that are out there that are telling you things you want to hear to get views and to also just keep you happy. Because, it's tough going through what we're going through out there. All the chaos, all the conflict, the facing of economic, financial, and food insecurity is very, very real. And we've been telling you guys directly the messages that we receive from our guides and from our higher selves. And I think we've been pretty accurate with everything. And I welcome anybody to go back through our old ones and look for inaccuracies. Definitely go back. Sometimes we'll get things that we don't understand fully. Like right before the election happened, or election happened, we got that 45 was going to appear to be gone, but he wasn't going to be really gone. And so, that has kind of manifested, as it looks like 45 is going to try to be 47. He's even made reference that on the golf course, somebody said, and ladies and gentlemen, the 45th, and he said, and 47th. So he obviously is planning on making a return appearance into the public. And so that could be what the guides were saying. Many people were saying that, inauguration of 46 wouldn't happen, or that 46 would be taken out of office in March. There was a date in March, and I think there was a date in April. And then, no, he's going to be taken out of office in August. And then that didn't happen. And so people are given these false expectations and then let down time and time again. And yet they keep going on and following and believing, in many cases, the same people that are giving them the same false predictions that don't manifest.
Mm-hmm. And really what this is about, it's about having a lot of information and then being disappointed when things don't follow through. And one thing I try not to do, and I hope I don't, is give people false expectations, because for disappointment to be truly disappointing, I guess you do need those false expectations. And I don't like to do that. I like to give people solid ground to stand on. And I think that's why we teach about spirituality, because that ground that you stand on is the most important, solid thing that we have as individuals in this life during this time. Everything else is very, very shaky right now. So we need solid ground to stand on, and that's what we like to try to give people.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're not in this for the views. We would have taken a side if we were in it for the views. We would have pushed a narrative if we were in it for views. Yeah, we're in it just as basically lightworker starseeds that are here on a mission. But we should all be still while we're preparing. We need to be enjoying our life and playing like the puppies do.
Mm-hmm.
And really enjoying ourselves while we're doing all those things. This is a time to get reconnected to the earth, get reconnected to the divine feminine, because she's been oppressed. And she's been oppressed for a reason, because they wanted to and they needed to disconnect you from everything that's related to the divine feminine and goddess energy in order to control you, and in order to control us with a system that is so imbalanced and so on steroids and testosterone only. Everything is all about, fight or flight. So again, we want to we're not going to pull punches with you either.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to tell you like it is. And as we've been saying, I do feel like the toughest part to get through for most people is going to be where we are now through maybe 2025. It's going to be really, really tough, really, really challenging. While, of course, we're paying attention to the earth changes and everything that can be also manufactured along those lines, they're really not our number one concern. The thing that we're most concerned with is really the governance, the manifestation of that N period, W period, O period, and the taking away of any sort of inherent human right as they go deeper down the rabbit hole towards ultimate tyranny. This is the thing that is facing us in the face. It's right in the face. And the other thing would be anything that could end up being a new plague on the land, as well as the current plague on the land manifesting in new ways.
Mm-hmm.
And again, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater just because now you have Gil Bates saying, well, maybe it is kind of like a flu, but not really. No, they know exactly what it is and how it's like peeling an onion. There's so many different layers to this. And this thing is a creature and a life unto its own. Cindy, when she first described the plague upon the land, she said it's a being. It's a consciousness. It's something that can almost kind of infiltrate and slowly take over, just like a nasty virus, a cancer,
Parasite.
just like a cancer raging. It's parasitic in nature.
Yeah, it is, and that's really, really horrible. So we have to look at these things that are coming our way and put things into perspective and put things into balance and keep pulling ourselves back into the now. And how do we do that? How do you pull yourself back into the now? And for me, I have a lot of different tricks and techniques, but a couple things that I really love is watching the puppies play. That pulls me right back into the now and brings joy to my life. And then my friends can pull me into the now when we're talking about things that bring us joy. And the guides were saying, if you really, really want to work on pulling yourself into the now, they're saying get a plant. Get a plant. Keep the plant alive, keep it happy, have it thrive, and that plant will assist you if you don't want to get pets.
Absolutely, it's a good idea. And there's many other things we could do, and gardening is a great one. It really is, and it's got it's got many benefits to it. Besides getting us in contact with the mother, we're going to need that food.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Would we be having a food shortage naturally at this point in time? Hell no. I don't believe that would be a possibility. And I do believe if we were in harmony with the mother energy, we would have absolutely no worries as far as food. We'd always be taken care of.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, definitely. We would be sown into the earth, and the mother, she provides. She provides, and that kind of brought me to this sticky subject where, unfortunately, so many are struggling just to get baby formula, and we know that that's not the truth. All of these things are being created by a different force. A force that likes to try to throw us off of our game, get us in a state of fear, because when humans are in a state of fear, they're so easily hurted. And that's something that we really need to remember.
Absolutely. So, are we expecting a mass ascension event with everybody manifesting in 5D in the next 6 months? No. No. In the next couple years? No.
Well,
Um,
let's define ascension.
yeah, again, ascension is, well, yeah, okay.
It
Define
changes.
ascension for us as we watch the crazy guys.
Yes. What I think people believe ascension is when our body actually physically changes. And when all of that light is coming into the body, and then the 3D, the tangible, the skin, the cells, and everything fades away, and it turns into a lighter density. And therefore, we're not dealing with the same terms that we're dealing with now. Like all of the rules in 3D no longer apply. Like we don't actually have to eat solid food. We don't need to drink water. All of these things can easily be absorbed through our skin, through our intent. And that's what I think a lot of people may feel ascension is, that big ascension.
Right. And we don't get that we're going to turn our physical body into a light body, anytime in the next handful of years. It's really a process on an individual basis. Will there be waves of people that start to ascend, so to speak, in a certain time frame? Yeah, and I think a lot of people are having that aha and that realization and shifting their perspectives every single day. But as far as like what we've talked about with the big solar flash, we've always gotten that that's decades away, and that may change. It may change as Source is changing us according to the Source's plan, trying to overcome the plans of the dark ones, which, when you look to the number of sunspots and the sun activity, it's increased dramatically, and it's not at all what all these experts were predicting. Even the grand solar minimum people, really can't explain, I don't think, this increase in the sun's output. But what we get is this is Source trying to help us. The Source knows, and Source is all about free will. So again, it's in our psyche that thy will be done. But that thy will, as far as talking about Source, is that our will be done in our own lives. Mm-hmm. That's what Source wants for us. Source wants us to have the freedom to make our own decisions.
Right. So, I mean, all of those decisions we make, all of those experiences we have, good, bad, indifferent, they all mesh back to Source, all of those energies. And I do believe there's another form of ascension that we're going through now. And one of the examples I have is our change in perception. As we are filled with more light, light is information. Our bodies may appear to be the same, but our perception changes drastically. And that's another form of ascension that I believe to be true, and I've seen people change their perceptions, and yes, they have, and then I call that leveling up. They've leveled up, kind of similar to a video game, but you're doing it here in the 3D, in the real life. And there are also ascension symptoms. Now, that is when the body can get quite achy. A lot of yogis, a lot of very spiritual beings who come here to be in the 3D where we're at, a lot of them do have heart problems. A lot of them do have problems with their bones and skin, and it's because their bodies weren't made for this exact 3D experience. So they do have a bit of difficulty when it comes to this solid form.
Well, holding so much light.
Yes.
Yogananda passed in his 50s, and it was just really, he had a mission. His mission was to get the knowledge and the wisdom of yoga to the West. And once he had enough of his work was fulfilled and things could start to develop on their own, he left. And, that's the way it is with many of these beings. We have seen thousands of cases of monks with the rainbow body. Because I did see a comment where somebody said, ascension is never physical. It's only, or you have to die to ascend. And I don't think it's the case all the time. It's the case maybe most of the time is that we ascend after we shed the body. And in one way, shape, or form, the body is not going to be the same anyway. It's either going to be kind of dissolved in light, so to speak, where it just disappears. Sometimes there's hair left, sometimes there's nails left, sometimes the body shrinks to almost nothingness, like a little miniature version of its former self. We're almost all vacuum anyway when you get down to it. But then sometimes they're gone. They're just gone. It could be with a flash of light and then gone. Anyway, you look at it, the 3D body is no longer a 3D body. So yeah, in that sense, yeah, it's gone. But do you have to actually die a normal physical death in order to ascend? I don't think so, because there's been so many monks and yogis that haven't died a traditional way. They just decide, I'm going to leave. They go into a meditative state and they leave. And they choose when they're going to leave. It's not like nature calling. It's not science. It's not, aided with any sort of chemical compounds by a nurse or a doctor. It's just a choice that my consciousness is leaving this vessel at that time, and they leave. And so Yeshua, his mission was rewritten and hijacked in the mainstream. Again, this is why we say, how can you trust the Bible when it's the most widely printed book of all time, when every single president and person of power in these United States puts his hand on it, swears by it, has no problem doing so, be that, Obama, Biden, Trump, Clinton, Reagan, going all the way on down the line, the Bushes. No, they gleefully do it. Why? Because, again, it's a hijacked narrative. And what we have gotten from our guides and what we've gotten from Yeshua in our channelings with him, his mission was about teaching us that, source lies within. Source lies within, and how to open up the heart center to transcend the Kali Yuga. And really that's what he was all about. And he actually did ascend without dying a regular physical death. And think about this. The mainstream turns it into a blood sacrifice. Blood sacrifice is the way of the Draco. This is the way of that draconian system that envelops the world. There's blood sacrifices going on right now in Ukraine and in many other countries. It's called war. Blood sacrifices have never stopped en masse, whether it's on the top of some temple or pyramid, and they're cutting the hearts out of the vanquished, the captives of war, or the conquered people in offerings, or whether they're just doing it on the battlefield, whether you're using drones, whether you're using rockets and landmines or any sort of bombs. That's a blood sacrifice to these demonic energies that run this matrix. And that has nothing to do with the mission of Yeshua. And so they've totally hijacked him and his message, turned it into something that feeds and is congruent with their system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there's many different ideas out there about what things really are when it comes to a spiritual sense. And the most important thing you can do for yourself is learn to go within and find those answers for you so it resonates with your soul. So many people it seems like they kind of teach people to agree with other people when it comes to ideas and understandings. But I think that also leaves us limited too if we just simply say, oh, okay, I feel safe because I believe this because someone else believes it. No, we're very individual from source. We're very individual, very unique, and go within and see what a lot of these things mean for you so you have your own solid understanding, because we are so individual and unique, and it's important to honor that.
Absolutely. And these two are certainly unique individuals. They both have their own personalities and defining characteristics. And as we should all. It's just a beautiful thing. So we just wanted to clarify that with you guys. So, do we think, again, that mass ascension event, people just disappearing, is right around the corner? No. Do we think Planet X is going to destroy the Earth in the next decade? No. Do we think there's going to be a magnetic pole reversal that leads to crustal displacement by 2025 or 2030 even? No, we don't think any of those things. We think we're in for a longer haul. And that can be disappointing to many, because many people want to just kind of get on with it.
Yeah.
Let's get on with it. Let's get done with it. I just want to get over all this crap, because I don't want to see the same old crap in the news. I don't want to feel the same old energies.
Right. Well, they kind of want everything to happen so they can get on with life. So everything that they've studied and been preparing for, boy, they can get that going. And that's understandable. I think we all would like to see the system change, because it's very uncomfortable the way it is, but it's that discomfort is going to bring us to our very own sovereignty when we're ready.
And the other thing is, nothing is written in stone.
Right.
Now, we have gotten from the guides that we probably are not able to stop WW3 because that's so far along in the process. But as far as the outcome, how long it lasts, what it looks like, again, we could change all that. Absolutely. And I asked Cindy the other day, because I've been doing a lot of catching her up on WW2, especially in regards to the countries that were under, say, Nazi occupation, just what it was like to be occupied, because I have always seen the U.S. occupied, and I think we might be faced with that one way, shape, or form. It might not even be necessarily a complete Red Dawn scenario. It could be a NWOUN scenario of occupation. Maybe I should add in WHO.
Mm-hmm.
It might look a little bit different. It's not set in stone. It's not. And all of us are creating this reality at the same time. So we have a say in it. The quicker we could get people waking up to the fact they've been manipulated and their consciousness have been manipulated to expect certain outcomes, to think things are inevitable, well, then the more we could actually change the reality. And you're not going to do that by... Well, you might be able to do it as an individual if all you're interested in is yourself, by kind of sticking your head in the sand and, finding a nice isolated place for yourself and totally unplugging. Hey, that sounds good. It does sound good, but it's not our...
It's not our mission.
It's not our mission. I would love to totally do that, unplug on some sort of tropical place somewhere. Oh, that would be paradise. I would love that. Just grow our own food, watch the pups play, I'll play my guitar all day, and we'll just listen to the waves roll in. If I could, I would. But it's not our mission. We're here to basically wake up people and to change the paradigm so it's not such a brutal